Yo, Josh here with Real Dead and Mike over. Oh, this way. Wait, this way. Uh, Mike with Real Dead, and we have a special guest again, Gregory Myers. He's the long lost cousin. Maybe he'll be in the next movie. He'll get the powers from. He's gonna be the one getting the powers from Michael Myers next somehow. So,
hey everybody.
yes. So tonight we are talking about David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy, and the first one came out in 2018, the second one in 2021, and then Ends came out in what 22, Mike?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
And yes,
Gregory's got them all right there. DVD,
Gregory has all the
Blu-ray.
movies right there.
Yep.
Yes. So I remember seeing the trailer for Halloween 2018 and being totally blown away. I was like, are you kidding? We got Jamie Lee Curtis back. We got this is like a straight sequel to the original. Like they cut out every other movie. Only the original 1978 counted. And then this one, which I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I remember me and my friend went to the theater to see it. We were hyped. I loved it when I saw it. And you know what? I haven't seen it since 2018, I don't think. And definitely went into this one with an open mind, had high expectations because I remember really liking it. Mike, what are some memories that you have of this Halloween 2018? Do you have any?
It's just, I mean, it was hyped up. It'd been a while since we'd had one, and I was just, I'm a huge Michael Myers fan. As I've said it 100 times. My favorite horror movie of all time is the original Halloween. So anything with Michael Myers, I'm ready. I'm ready to see it. So I was really hyped up for it.
Right. Gregory, do you have what memories do you have of this?
So I remember when the trailer came out, and being excited and not really knowing too much about it, but knowing that it was a direct sequel, which means that there is no 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No.
And so that means that they're not brother and sister, which I was kind of upset about. I really wish they would have kept that, but it was a direct sequel, so it never happened until the second one.
Right. I like that retcon. I never liked that about the movie at all. I did never like that storyline, like where they were brother and sister. And I love that they squashed that in 2018. They mention it and they're like, no, that's just an old folktale. That's a lie, So I like that they did that personally. It is rated R, and let's talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score real quick before we get started on this movie, talking about the good things and the bad. The Rotten Tomato is 79% from critics and 72% for fans. And that's rare that a movie gets higher, with the critics than the fans. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
Yeah, especially in a horror movie, because you don't,
Right.
you don't see horror movies coming out. Number one, a lot of critics giving it love.
Right.
But for the critics to give it that high, and then the fans actually to come back a little lower than the critics was a little shocking.
That's right.
But we'll go into our ratings on that one. But for the hype and everything for it, I thought that was a really good start for that series.
Yes.
And it made me want to see the second and the third one, down the road because of how well that first one was.
Right. So let's start with talking about some good things about this movie. So I think that like I said, I wrote here, only the Halloween counts, and I think they make that clear in this. They, because Michael Myers is alive, and at the end of this number 2, he was dead in the original series. So it starts off with these two people kind of like doing this podcast, which I thought that was really cool. They were trying to they were doing like a mystery about Michael Myers, and that's really big, like murder mysteries and stuff. And they were trying to figure out, they wanted to interview all these people. What'd you think about that kind of beginning storyline of the movie, Mike?
I liked it. I liked the two reporters that were trying to do it, and you know, the very beginning of that when they go to the hospital and then they see him out in the courtyard area.
Yeah.
I didn't really like so much they showed his face. I don't know. I'm just kind of old fashioned Mystique. I mean, not seeing his face. You saw about a third of it, and you could kind of tell. He looked older and stuff, which
Right.
I don't know. But I did like how like the other inmates or the other people that was part of this hospital. They start once he pulls that
Yeah.
mask out, you could tell that, I guess feel the evil there, and everybody started hooping and hollering and stuff like that. So I actually liked the way this movie started out. I thought it was really good.
Right. Gregory, what did you think about that aspect of it?
Yeah, I have to agree. I thought it gave it more of a dramatic theme at the beginning, and I thought it was kind of interesting how that whole courtyard was like a giant checkerboard, but it
Yeah.
was like white and red. I did kind of like that they did show his face a little bit. They gave you just enough to show what time has done to him over the years, without knowing what he's been through over the years. Um, but it seemed like everybody else that was there kind of stood away from him, like kept their distance from him. Maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they, sensed that he was, true evil. I'm not sure, but they didn't seem very, very close to him as far as distance wise.
Right. Don't we meet his current doctor here, who's basically a total ripoff of Dr. Loomis, in my opinion?
He's
He's a new
fanatic.
version of Loomis.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's a new version of Loomis.
I thought he was a fanatic, though. He wasn't. I thought he was obsessed with him.
He is.
And in the movie, as it goes along, it's like he wanted to see what it was like to be him when he had the mask on and everything.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, he just kind of went a little psycho.
So now this is a part that kind of divides some fans, which I didn't understand that at first. I thought it was cool, but how Lori is so messed up from what happened back in 1978, and she's like a total militant, just like a nutso, got a whole house booby trapped, got tons of guns and all this, and real paranoid. And some people didn't like that, I think, about the movie. I think, would you model it? If one incident happened to you way back when, would you model your whole life after that one incident? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I think it's maybe done a little too extreme, in my opinion. But what do you guys think about how Lori is in this movie?
I'll let Gregory go first because I'm very opinionated on that.
Okay.
Okay, so you take the 1978 version. Yes, she was younger and everything. You go all these years later, and Jamie Lee Curtis was talking about in interviews, it's about trauma, and that was the big word, trauma, and I get that and everything. She went through some stuff. It wasn't as I don't know if it was as big as what she made it up to be in those interviews and stuff. But in the movie, yes, the character went through some things. So maybe as the years went on that we don't know, she went through more psychological stuff. But I think she always had it in the back of her mind that she knew, since it was direct from the first one, that he wasn't done. He wasn't gone. They never found him when they looked out the window. So I think she mentally got prepared, and other people thought she was crazy, but she knew what she was doing. She even brought up her daughter in that same way with the narcosis and, the obsessiveness and everything, but she knew what she was doing. And even her daughter kind of tried to get away from that. I mean, she wore a Christmas sweater to be happy throughout the whole movie.
Right.
So I think the trauma, and over time, yes, she did prepare herself because she was waiting for something to happen. And even though she was probably an alcoholic because she drank a lot, she was going through things. Her family didn't agree with everything, but she knew something was going to happen, and she was right.
Right. Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe call me a purist at heart. I don't mind them making Lori look like a badass. I think that's really cool that she's like a badass. But
Sure.
if this is a direct from the very first one, number one, at the very end of the very first one, he never was caught. You know, they go back and talk about it at the beginning, but to wait 40 years knowing that he's going to come back and get her, and it wasn't, you know, where it's a direct, he wasn't kin to her. It wasn't a family thing. Because that's taken out of there. I just thought they made her character look like an old crazy cat lady. and then made her daughter like just hate her guts, and then her granddaughter like love her, which I think out of all three of these, the granddaughter to me stole the show out of all three of them.
Yep, I agree. The granddaughter was great.
But I would, I mean, you don't have any backstory on this if you're going directly from the first one. You don't know now who's really the father of the daughter, who's really the. I mean, you don't know. There's a lot you don't know. So I just thought they overdid it a little bit, in my opinion.
Yep. Mike, did you want to take just a couple minutes to say hi to a couple people in the chat?
Yeah, it looks like we got a pretty good crew in here. Looks like we got Miss Meg has came in tonight. Good to see you, Miss Meg. Mr. Paul's in the house. Moonlight Adventures has dropped in. We also got Gregory. We also got Miss Lindsay. We got Mike. And we got Nick. Nick's dropped in. Nick Push. That's got a great horror channel. Go check his horror channel out. Subscribe to it. He's got a great channel. And D&G is in the house. And so we've got about 9 people in here right now. So
I know Derek's watching. That's him signed in. I was you mentioned something where you said they never caught him. Now, I'm gonna jump to Halloween Ends for just a second because they showed flashbacks.
No, Halloween Kills, you mean?
No, Halloween Ends. They showed.
I thought it was Kills that they showed that.
Yeah, they show all the flashbacks, but you don't see that in this one. I do like how they went back and kind of put those stories in there. I did like that.
Yeah, it was Kills. I'm sorry, but when they showed him flashback, that I'm guessing that was after the end of the original movie, so they did end up capturing him. So maybe that's why she was preparing herself. If that's the case, if that's the timeline.
Yeah, I mean, right here. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, evidently it is known, but in that movie you didn't know that.
Right.
That was put in there.
Right. So, and I did right here. The movie makes sure you know that Lori and Michael are not related, which like I said, I do like that. Mike, did you have a problem with that?
To be honest with you, I forgot all about it. In my mind, I kept thinking they were.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't think it really changed my thoughts on it. I mean, either way.
So here comes the first problem for me in this movie is where Michael escapes. You know, he gets transferred. He does end up escaping. Just happens to stumble upon another garage with a guy.
That's what I love about it. I love that.
No, I don't like that. He just happens to stumble upon a garage, steals a guy's suit. It fits him perfectly, even though he's what? 6'3", 6'4", I don't know. And fits him perfectly. Fits him perfectly. I do like the part where the podcast people come in, and they've been trying to talk to everybody that they could. They try to get interview with Lori. She gave him a little bit of time or whatever. But they somehow end up at the same gas station shop somehow. I don't know how. Movie gods made it happen. And you know, he ends up going to this bathroom, and she's in there going to the bathroom. And a cool part, though, is where all of a sudden she's under there, and he just drops all these teeth to where he busted out of this guy's mouth. Yeah, that was cool. I do admit, I do like that part. And then her friend who's filling up the gas tank, this guy, Michael just makes quick work of him. And this guy's not a small guy. He's tall. He's about as tall as Michael Myers. And I will go back to that later when a guy who's about 5'9" beats up Michael Myers later in the series. But this guy was probably about 6'3", 6'4". Michael Myers bashed his head in. I love that. And then he ends up just choking this woman out. And she didn't run. She just sat there. She could have escaped while he was beating the crap out of this guy. but she didn't. She died.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about that whole scene?
She had a crowbar at one point, and she was like this, and she didn't even like swing or anything. She didn't do anything. She just let him take her. Okay, so if you put this into perspective, and I tell Derek this, I'm like, he is in his 60s. The 60-something-year-old man is able to do all this stuff. And Laurie Strode even says we have to remember he's human. Okay, but really is he? Because later on we'll go into that. But but this other guy comes in and like Michael beats it. Like the guy didn't even get any punches really or anything in. So and then the girl's like crawling under the stalls and he could just easily drag her, which he did. So she didn't put up much of a fight for me.
So Mike, what did you think?
I mean, I like the whole throwback callback to the original where he's going to get, he's at a gas station. He gets, he gets the whole jumpsuit back. I mean, what do you want him in a yellow raincoat or something? I mean,
well,
what do we?
He had
movie.
You're out in the middle of the country. It's like churches out in the middle of the country, man. There's a gas station on every corner.
He had his white jumpsuit on. He might have been able to do something in that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
He probably would have messed it up and got it bloody. I mean,
he ends up he knows these people has his mask. He ends up getting his mask back, and it's a really cool scene where he puts it on, and then you finally see Michael Myers, and it's in all of his glory, and it is really cool. I think that part
goes
really
back to the trunk and gets it out.
Yeah,
he knows it's in their trunk.
Yeah.
I like Derek's comment that he put.
What?
That he thought the bathroom scene was disturbing. LOL. He was too old to be kicking ass. LOL. See, I thought the same thing, kind of.
Well,
but I guess he's not human after all.
Right.
He's the strength.
So he gets his. So what happens next here, Mike? After this scene, do you have some notes here that you want to?
Yeah, I took a bunch of notes, but
okay,
I mean, I know we don't want to go over every little
thing. For a minute. Take the lead for a minute.
So another thing I didn't like about the movie though was when they had the whole scene with the dinner at night, and then Laurie comes to the dinner, and
yeah,
and they got her again looking like she's weak and she's drinking heavily, and the granddaughter wants her there. She took the $3,000 that she got. I love the throwback early in this movie as well, though, where I think it was in this one where she was sitting in the classroom and looked out the window and saw her grandmother there, which is a throwback to number one, a callback. Yeah. And then we get into the part where they have the bus wreck, and the boy shoots the doctor, who's the new Loomis, or the guy that's like Loomis.
Yeah.
And then Michael Myers, didn't Michael Myers kill the boy in the car, which was
right,
which was not a typical thing for Michael Myers in previous movies, is to kill other little boys. I mean, of course, the Rob Zombies he did, but it was not a normal. You don't see many killers in horror movies nowadays kill kids, and that was kind of a
right. Yep, I really like I think the music in this movie is phenomenal. The soundtrack is really good.
The guitar,
I think we can all,
They use the electric guitar at times. I love that.
Yeah, I think we can all agree to that. John Carpenter did the music for this, so I think we can all agree that the music was good here. So what are some other things you guys like about this movie? Because I want to get to some of my dislikes. So let's get the likes out of the way, and then let's go to the dislikes.
I like when it cut to Halloween night and it shows the trick-or-treaters, and then it shows him walking and the kids run into him.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of startled and looks down, and then the kid goes, "Oh, sorry, sir." And then Michael just kind of ignores them and then like turns around and starts walking, and then he just starts killing random people. I'm like, okay, it's just that's his pursuit. That's what's his motive, is just to do random things.
I really like that shot where it shows him walking up the driveway into that garage, I think, and then he went into some woman's house, hit her with a hammer, took her knife, went into some other lady's house, stabbed her through the back of the neck. I mean, that was a really cool like scene.
Yeah, he smacked her head and then stabbed her. Yeah,
it was really good. In these
And ain't
three
that the one
movies,
where he walked by the baby in the crib and he didn't do anything to the baby?
I would have been so mad if something was happening to that baby.
So I mean, well, if he's like what they say, his eyes are black. I mean, you shouldn't be surprised if he would kill a child. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I noticed in these three movies is he does like a bunch of head smashings. I mean, he like takes people's head and rams them into stuff. Did he do that in the other movie? I didn't remember that.
Not in the original. No, he would like kick them when they're on the ground and smash their head open. I'm like, can that really happen in real life? I don't know.
One of the coolest kills I think is when he kills a couple of cops, and then the Allison's dad goes to check on him or whatever, and he's got that glow, or he's got the flare up in the guy's head. It looks like a jack-o'-lantern. That was awesome. That was an amazing kill. Did you guys like that one?
Yeah, he gutted out the head basically to make that happen. When did he have time to pull the skull out and the brains?
Yeah,
but it was cool looking. Yes, it was disturbing. But
I like the kid and the babysitter though. I like that little scene.
Oh yeah.
You had the kid there, and he was, talking. He said, "Hey, y'all gonna come over and smoke some weed?" And he was giving her a hard time. They were, kind of back and forth with each other, and then up in her room when he puts to bed, he feels like somebody's in the house, and then the whole time you feel like, he's really there anyway,
right?
And then when she comes back in and checks the room and tries to shut the door, also at some point it shows kids trick or treating. And you see the three masks from Halloween 3.
Yes, I love that.
I really like that.
I love that. I love that movie. Don't get enough love, and I love that they give that a shout out in like I think I'm not sure about ends, but it's definitely in Kills a bunch too.
Yep.
So,
but I love another callback is when the police officer goes upstairs to look for after the whole scene's happened, and Michael Myers gets into it with the babysitter, and then eventually kills the boyfriend too.
You're talking
when
about
he
the
goes back
cop?
into that, when she goes into the room and you got the sheets over top of the girl,
right?
And that's another callback to the very first one when you don't know if is it really Michael Myers underneath there. I mean, watching it originally the very first time, I knew it wasn't him. He's not going to be underneath that mask, but it was still a good callback to the first film.
Right. So the whole scene, the whole third act of this movie, where it's Laurie versus Michael Myers in her house of trap, that is really, really solid. It's very good in my opinion. And I really like it. She's got this whole house booby trapped. And you think it's to protect, you think it's to keep him out. It's actually meant to keep him in the house, which you don't realize that to the end. And that's what I really like. I mean, they get in a fight. She shoots half his hand off with a shotgun. They ended up trapping him. The basement was a trap. He ends up going to the basement. They light the whole place on fire. He can't get out. There's no way to get out because they put bars over the where the stairs are. And the basement was a trap. What did you guys think about the third act? Did you guys like that? Mike?
I'll let you go, Gregory.
Oh, okay.
I did like it. I was gonna mention real quick the back to the babysitter area when he was in the closet. I think that was Nick Castle in the costume because they didn't have him do like action stuff, but just the way that he looked and how he stabbed her, I thought that was Nick Castle in that part.
Okay.
But then the trap part, I always tell Derek, I'm like, why didn't Allison wait until he was like halfway up the stairs and then push it? Because those bars would have went right through him and he wouldn't have gone anywhere and he would have been burned. So
right.
But they were tricky, and somehow he was able to like fit like paper thin in that gun thing and not die of smoke inhalation.
Well, that's the next movie, Gregory. Come on now.
I know. But but I did like the whole swinging island thing that had the trap door. That was pretty cool. but I don't know if he wasn't originally after her, in my opinion. He was only there because the doctor brought her there because he wanted them to have a throwdown,
Right.
but she was all ready for him and everything. So,
Right.
but I thought that was pretty cool, and how he looked over and she was gone, like he was gone when she looked over the balcony in the original.
Yeah, I love that call. That's another callback. I love that.
So
I got
Mike,
cold chills when I saw that the first
so
time. I was like,
did
man,
you
that's just like the first one.
did you like the third act then, Mike?
Yeah, overall I did. I liked it. I think, is this the one also where they was walking through the house and you had those like mannequins and stuff up and stuff
Right.
like that. And you saw the blood trail going to the closet, and then the husband was, her daughter's husband, a son-in-law, was in the closet in the top. That was kind of creepy and as well. I liked how they set him up to burn at
Yeah.
the end.
Yep.
And if you think about it, if it's a direct from the first one, how did he burn in the second one? He died in fire.
Right.
And that's how they
So
tried to set this one up, that he got burned in the in the
right.
trap.
So
I did
one
like
thing
also, I thought it was cool how the daughter looks over there and sees her initials carved out in the gun, and she grabs the gun, when she's getting ready to shoot him. Now, he's been shot in here. I wrote down he got shot in the face and he got shot in the shoulder, and he acts like it didn't bother him at all.
Right. So that's the one thing with Michael Myers. Like Jason Voorhees, we know he's a zombie in later movies. Like, okay, he can survive a lot. Michael Myers, they never kind of went that route. So you're kind of like, wait a minute. Like, what is this about? But the thing I wrote at the very end of my list, I still have some negative things I want to get to for a minute. I said, why did it not end here? This should have been the perfect ending. He's trapped there. He's dead. He's gone. Lori has closure. Her family has closure. It's over. We really didn't need any more movies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about me saying that?
They could have ended it there. I was going to mention, you mentioned that the husband was in the closet, and I thought, when did he have time to go back outside, drag the body up, and put it in the closet? And then he was behind the mannequin, and he like came out of nowhere. So, but and that happens a lot, but it's a movie. A positive I did like was that the daughter, Karen, was acting like, Mom, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then he came over and shot View and said, gotcha, and shot him. I'm like, why did you like shoot him in the head or something? But they could have, that would have been an actual good ending for it. Just do a one and done movie and that's it. But they wanted to do a whole trilogy.
Right. So one of the things, so there's a main cop in this. His name's Hawkins. It doesn't seem like him and Lori have really they have a past together, but like it doesn't seem like it's anything in this movie, in my opinion. He gets stabbed in the neck and ran over. He gets ran over by a car and stabbed in the neck, and he's bleeding out horribly. And he's dead in this one, okay? In my opinion, we'll get to the next movie. But now, do you guys have anything like Gregory and Mike? If you had to pick something that bothered you in this movie, what would it be? That was negative.
Just in that movie?
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Mike. I need to think.
Yeah, I go back to what I said earlier. I thought they made her look like a crazy old woman, and that, I thought they made her daughter look really weak at one time. And, they talk about the social services coming in and taking her away when she was 12. And
right.
I can't remember who they said she went and stayed with, or maybe they never even said. I mean, I don't know, but it just, I don't know. It kind of, Lori's this badass the whole time. So why are they making her look weak with alcohol and not being a good parent, losing her child and all this stuff? I mean, I just thought there was another way they could have done that. It still made her look like a strong character. But I mean, I didn't have a problem with the way it ended. I thought it was cool how they They trapped him in the bottom. Then you find out the whole time, instead of keeping somebody out, it was really to keep him in. And then when the fire started, it actually started lighting up throughout the house. I liked it when she was going through clearing each room and she hit the button and it came down, and she knew she'd already cleaned that room out and he wasn't in there.
Hey, Mike, this is a negative. This is a negative. What you didn't like.
Right. I mean, the only thing one thing I don't like is about being her weak. The whole time. Then
I guess. Yeah, I'm with you though. The third act is great, Mike. Honestly, Gregory.
The only thing I probably didn't like is that they don't do what they could have done, if that makes sense. I know it's in the script, but if it were real life, I would have again waited for him to be halfway up and then bam, close those things through his body. He couldn't get through. He would burn up. It's like, why don't you do this instead of just doing this? Because he still has a way to live. So that's the only thing I don't like, but I know there's a reason why they didn't do it. It's not my movie, so but yeah.
Okay, so let's get to our rating. Mike, is there anything else you want to cover before we get to the rating?
No, the doctor. Did we cover enough about the Dr. Loomis type character? Or is that really the?
I mean, he was lame to me. I didn't like him at all. I thought he was lame and just a ripoff of Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
But what do you want to say about him, Mike?
I don't want to give up too much. I can't remember if it was in this one or the second one. They kind of run together now.
Well, he was the reason why.
Yeah,
he was the reason why Michael was at her house.
Right,
he wouldn't have found her otherwise.
Right, yeah, he wanted to. He's the one to put the mask. He put the mask on himself and was trying to feel like what it felt like to have control.
Wait, why didn't he get the powers that Michael Myers when he put the mask on, Mike?
Gosh, stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Don't mess with
Mike.
His...
Well, isn't that true though, Mike?
Michael, tell him stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Mike, if you put that mask on later, you might turn into Michael Myers. I don't know.
I'm too fat for Michael Myers, but
okay. So let's talk about the rating. Gregory, 1 out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What are you giving Halloween 2018?
I would give it a solid, for me, a direct sequel, taking everything into account, not putting it as real life or anything. It was a fun movie. It had good moments. It didn't have really too many negatives. I would probably give it a solid 9 in my mind.
Okay. That's high. Holy crap.
It is high, but it's better than some other things that we're going to talk about.
I was going to say, if you give the next couple ones a 9, I'm going to be like, I don't know if we'll have you back on the show. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
Mike, what are you giving this rating, Mike?
This one, I kind of liked it. Not the greatest movie I've ever seen. Nowhere near the very first one. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. It had its. I just didn't like how they made Laurie look like this. Somebody that lost her kids and a drunk and all this kind of stuff. So
that's
Mike, not my Laurie Strode.
Right. I'm kind of with you, Mike. I'm going to go a little higher than you, but not much. I'm giving it a 6.5. To me, like the next movie creates problems with this movie, in my opinion. I have problems with this movie because of the next movie. So because of that, and because of some of the other silly things that happen in this, I'm giving it a 6.5. I do think it's all right. It does get a little boring to me, I think, in some parts. It does. It gets boring to me. So in some parts. So
can I ask a question? With Mike, you said it's not your Laurie Strode. So okay, take the original Laurie Strode, who was a teenager and was kind of a girly girl, as most teenage girls are like that. And you take her from then to now, and she's more of a badass. When she wasn't as much, she didn't have that much confidence like she does in this one. Yeah, she got through everything in the original, but she wasn't that much of a fighter per se. So you think your Laurie Strode is better in the original Halloween?
Yes. The Laurie Strode for me was the girl next door that was kind of weak at the beginning, but by the end of it, she was a badass. She took the needle and stabbed him with the needle. She took the hanger, and I
Yeah.
just think that again, it's 40 years later,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I mean, it's a huge jump from here, the girl next door, to the crazy old cat lady at the. I mean, she didn't have a cat. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean. She was like, I just think they went from somewhere in between. I'd have been happier. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have the stories on why she. I mean, I guess that she lost her daughter because she was so obsessive, and her daughter talks about going down in the basement and having to constantly, be looking for Michael Myers. And I mean, it just, I don't know. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I get it.
that's
No,
good.
I've actually heard that a lot. I didn't know that was a thing, but there is a big part of the fan base that is with Mike. They don't like this Laurie Strode at all. They don't. This is not their Laurie Strode. And there is I didn't know there was a divide there, but there is.
Yeah.
I didn't really know that it was either. I was just giving my opinion on it.
No, that's good. I do like her in the original and how her arc came about later on too.
Yeah. So let's go to kills now. We spent 36 minutes on Halloween 2018.
Evil dies tonight.
Yeah. Evil dies tonight, right, Mike?
It dies tonight, all right. It dies right now, tonight.
Okay, so Halloween Kills is really a divisive movie. I feel like you either like it a lot or you just don't like it. I feel like there's not really a middle. Let's get it's rated R, came out in 2021. Critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 39%, and the fans gave it a 66. So that's not horrible. But so this movie is it takes place on the same night as Halloween 2018. And this movie is really about the side characters from past movies, from the first movie and from, well, not really 2000. I guess it is from 2018 because like the granddaughter and stuff, but it's mainly side characters from the original Halloween, right, Mike? Right, Gregory?
Yeah, it starts off right off the bat with Allison's boyfriend, walking down the street, trying to call his buddy to make sure he's his buddy's, sitting there, up on the fence, with the thing going through his face.
Who does
and
he
then
find,
he walks
Mike?
straight up on the sheriff, and he's trying to help the sheriff out. And that sheriff,
over?
I thought that sheriff's name was Michael Myers at first.
Listen, isn't that really pretty unforgivable that they basically are saying he never got ran over? Because they didn't show that in this. They do show him get stabbed in the neck in a flashback, but they're trying to say, nope, he didn't get ran over because like the dude was talking and stuff.
I think he just ran over his foot. I don't think he ran over his whole body.
No, honestly though, isn't that something that's kind of like, come on, guys? Like this is like, you think we're dumb because this movie came out 3 years later? We're not going to remember what happened? Give me a break. That's one thing that really bothered me right away, right off the bat. The movie has a strike against it because of that, in my opinion.
I don't know if they knew. I don't know.
Man, Meg hates it so much. Meg said kills could not exist. I would not care. Dang.
I don't
dislike it that much.
Excuse me. I don't think they thought that far ahead. They probably thought, oh wait, we probably do need him to be in these as like her semi-love interest because we got backstory to tell and stuff. So maybe they jumped the gun,
right,
and tried to like smooth it over. But
it's pretty bad in my opinion.
Everybody comes back in horror movies, it seems like. So
yeah, well, usually not the cops. The cops usually don't come back. So as we mentioned, this is about side characters. So we got Tommy, who is like the kid that was being babysitted by Laurie, right?
Yep.
And then you have Lindsay, who was getting babysitted by another girl that gets killed. And you have Mary, who was a nurse at Michael Myers' hospital, and she was attacked and survived. And then you have Connie, No, Lonnie. Sorry, not Connie. I wrote this wrong. I mean Lonnie, who was also a little kid back then. And so these are kind of like the survivors that encountered Michael Myers back then and survived. And they kind of have like a bond over that, right, Gregory?
Yes.
Now, what did you think about that, Mike? Did you like that kind of that story for this movie?
Well, it happened the same night. So, I mean, and they saw in the bar, what was going on. And I kind of liked bringing back the old characters. I kind of, they're going up on the 45th anniversary, which is this year. But when this was made a few years back, I liked bringing up little Tommy Doyle and the other kids. And, I like that part at the very beginning of it.
Yeah.
I wish they could have brought back the original boy, but I don't know if they were even able to find him or he wasn't acting anymore. So they went with somebody else. They went with Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
But it was
sorry, Gregory.
No, I was just gonna say it was cool that they all hung out at a bar and then Anthony Michael Hall, they did that talent show thing, and then Anthony Michael Hall's character went up and was Tommy Doyle was, instead of doing like a talent thing, he told the story to kind of introduce the people from the original, just in case people from our new generations and stuff don't know or whatever, just kind of a refresher. I thought that was kind of cool how they did that.
Right. So
my problem right off the bat, though, off the bat, is when they go to they leave and go to the car, and then the other escape person is out there.
Yeah.
I think they just, to me, just that whole thing.
It's with the umbrella. She thought it was Michael Myers.
I mean, that whole thing from that point on with that character, if they would have took that person out of this movie and just made it some kids messing around maybe at Halloween and not had that character, and then the whole Evil Dies Tonight and the whole, if they would just took that out of the whole movie, that would have made this movie, in my opinion, 10 times better.
Yeah, no doubt. It drags it down. I wanted to get to real quick how the movie starts, though. It starts with the flashbacks, which I really like these flashbacks that go back and show you more of the story, what happened after Michael was shot by Dr. Loomis, and it shows you that he went back to his home again, and these cops went there and found him, and he attacked a cop, and it shows Hawkins was actually the guy that got ran over and got stabbed in the neck when he was still living and talking. He was there on the first night, and he shot his partner on accident, and
tried to cover it up too.
Right, and they killed him, killed his partner on accident, and they ended up getting Michael Myers. They beat the crap out of him outside. In Loomis, Mike, you told me, I forgot Loomis was gonna shoot him, and they stopped him. I don't know why they stopped him, but they shouldn't have. I want to mention one other thing. The guy playing Dr. Loomis, horrible.
Are you serious? Oh, what happened?
I thought he was, dude. He was like, Michael. Did he kill somebody, Michael? Like, no, dude, it was horrible.
Derek's over here laughing. Did Mike get booted out?
His internet probably went wacko. That Southern internet.
I thought that they got a good actor as far as how he looked to play him, but Hawkins, when he was younger, was the one that stopped Loomis from shooting him in the head, and I'm just like, really? Like, there are so many times where they could have killed him. I'm sorry, but there were. I couldn't, I could name them, but that was one of the big ones.
But I did like y'all keep talking about this. I'm leaving. You keep talking about Michael Myers. I'm leaving again. Y'all may have said this while I was gone, but I did like the computer generated Loomis coming back.
No, I didn't at all. I hated it.
I kind of like that.
Listen, Michael, did you kill again, Michael? No, that's horrible.
I liked it. I kind of liked it.
That was horrible.
Every time you do that, Derek laughs. I didn't know he was computer generated. I thought they got like an
It looks
actor.
computer generated to me. I don't know.
I thought it was an actor that they got that kind of looked like it. Maybe they imposed some facial features on him. I don't know, but I thought they did a good job with that part.
Yeah, it says, yeah. I like I said, it says, did he kill again? Michael, did he kill again? Like, no, it was dumb. In my opinion, that's my opinion. It was cool to see him in the movie again. Like they put a Loomis in, but very limited.
So this is another thing that's wrong with the very beginning of that. If this was supposed to be like showing flashbacks, y'all may
yeah,
have said this when I left and came back real quick. But like when they take him when he goes down outside and he's, they all getting ready to beat the crap out of him and Loomis is getting ready to shoot him in the head. You look at him, he has no holes in him at all. No bullet holes, no blood, no nothing. He was shot 6 times. If you go back and watch Halloween 2, really they say it's 7 times. But this is supposed to be a direct from the first one. You don't see any markings on him. He got loaded up with bullets.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, and there's nothing. I was watching the movie or watching him there, the character, and I was like, there's no blood. There's no holes on him. There's no nothing. I mean, how do you miss that?
I would love to be like the whatever you call it, the sequence director. Attention to detail director or something.
Laura Strode was there. She was an executive producer, I believe, on this one, or maybe the last one she was. But she was there.
I would be like, this is what happened in the first one. Put some bolt holes in this one to make it match.
Yeah. So then we cut to Michael Myers in the fire department rushing to Laurie's house, which this is an epic scene. And Laurie's like, let it burn.
Yeah.
She like screams it, which I thought was cool. The firemen go there and the guy falls through the floor. And all of a sudden you realize Michael is hiding where the guns were, which is cool. I thought that was clever. I did like that. And he just kills this guy, steps on his face, takes his tool, gets out of there. The shot, probably one of the best shots in the whole movie, Michael Myers walking out of this house that's ablaze.
Yeah.
And it looks absolutely sweet. It's awesome. I love the look of this shot. And then all the firemen are just standing there like what the heck?
Yeah. I would have been running the other way already because I would have known something's bad is going to happen.
I think it was silly when the fireman was like, oh yeah, I'll show you. Fire hose.
Yeah, right. Well, I have some problems with that because if he was stuck in that ammo, whatever, first of all, ammo has gunpowder and bullets, so heat would probably set those suckers off. Plus, he would be coughing and hacking from smoke inhalation. Let's be fair here.
Wait a minute. He remember, he's not human.
Yeah, I guess so.
We learned that in this movie, not the past one, but in this one we learned that, right, Mike?
Yeah.
At the very end, you definitely learn it.
But listen, so he puts a hurting on the fireman, and I love that whole scene. I think that's probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
It was brutal.
It was a very at the time it was very controversial because you remember everything that was happening in the world.
Oh yeah,
where police officers were being being attacked and these riots and stuff, and firemen too, and it not so many as firemen, but I don't know if y'all remember when it came out, and people were like up in arms about, hey, why is he taking out the fire? To me, as a horror movie, you knew that's going to happen. It didn't bother me.
No,
but a lot of people got tore up about that.
Yeah, people need to get a life.
Yeah, I don't remember the controversy on that.
Yeah, no, there definitely was. Mike's right. I do remember that. So this movie has some of the most brutal kills in it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He goes to this house with a woman and her husband. Annihilate. I mean, one of the most brutal kills is he kills this man, and then he breaks a fluorescent light, shoves it in this lady's neck, and she's Michael Myers too, Mike. Apparently. She's Michael Myers too. But he shoves this tube in her neck. I mean, it's brutal. I mean, it's brutal.
That thing would have shattered. I'm sorry.
And then brings the husband in the kitchen and just starts grabbing every knife they got and stabbing it into the guy.
Yeah, I don't like
while
that.
she's watching it, while
I
she's
don't
still
like
alive.
that. Yeah.
He
No,
could have
I mean,
killed
how
her.
many
He could have
knives-
killed her any moment or thought she was doing bleed out, but he would look over at her, pick another knife out, like, I don't know, maybe let's get this one.
I didn't like that. That was
I mean, it
so
was
disturbing.
listen,
Brutal.
it was very brutal. I didn't. I mean, all the other, when you kill somebody in a movie, it's brutal anyway. But I really forgot on all three of these how brutal the killings were. I mean, this was, other than probably the Rob Zombies, these are some of the worst killings I've seen.
It was
Mike,
ridiculously brutal. Yeah.
Mike, never mention the Rob Zombie Halloweens again.
Dragula. I'm going to drink Dragula.
I wrote here, Mike's mad in this movie. Michael Myers is mad in this movie. He's out there for blood, dude, big time.
Oh, I had a trivia question because we were talking about Evil Dies Tonight. Who was the first person to say that and make it stick?
That was said in the bar at the very beginning of the movie by Lindsay, that little girl, right?
No,
Tommy?
it was Nurse Marion.
Oh.
When they were talking, she goes, "Evil dies tonight," and then it just stuck. And
it was in the bar, right? It was in the bar.
Yep.
I remember as soon as they said that, I was like, "Oh, there's where it came from."
I was like, "Let me write that down. That's a good question."
So one thing I do like about this movie is that Lori and her family take like a back seat. I like that because they were like full, they were kind of like up in front and center in the last movie. In this movie, they definitely take a back seat. Of course, they're still in it. And they still have stuff to do. They still have stuff to do, but they definitely take a back seat in this movie. And I also bring up that the Halloween 3 masks are, really cool to see those in this movie. More front and center than the last one. It's in the movie several times. So is this the part where Michael Myers kills that car of people first?
With Marion and Lindsay,
right.
Lindsay got out of the car, but Marion was there, and then
or do we meet Big John and Little John first before that happens?
That's later on in the movie.
Oh, okay. So so we got this car of people it's Lindsay and Mary and these two other yahoos from the bar, a doctor and a nurse, and they are driving around looking for Michael Myers, and they find him because Michael Myers murders a kid in this movie too.
Well, no, Big John and Little John are seen at some point here. I mean, before this, because the same kids are at the park, and they said we got a whole bag of candy.
Yeah, it's like an in-betweener thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the final fight between them, but they had played the prank about trying to act like they were choking on a razor blade and stole a whole bag of candy, and they were at the park swinging in the trick-or-treat mask, the Halloween 3 mask.
Yeah. So I want to talk about Big John and Little John because to me these characters are funny. I like them. But I feel like they're really out of place in this movie. How serious this movie is? Because this movie's pretty serious and gruesome. They're kind of like comedy, and I just don't think their characters fit well. I like both actors. I think they're great, and
I liked them.
No, I do. I think I think when you first meet Big John and he's like, "Stop, look, and listen." It's like, what, dude?
That song, yeah.
It just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, "Wait a minute, Mike Myers is
you got to throw a little. You got to add a layer of comedy in the movie too. I mean, everything's too brutal.
Song. Yeah, like I said, I did like the characters. I just thought they were a little out of place for this movie, in my opinion. But so Michael Myers does kill a kid in this movie again. So he's killed 2 kids in this series so far. He killed a kid that was trick-or-treating. And then he goes on to kill Mary, kills her. And then he kills both the nurse and the doctor. The doctor, he stabs right in the head through the eyeball. That was awesome. And then how does he kill the doctor, Mike?
That was, the nurse, you mean?
No, she's a real doctor in real life. I mean, in the movie. Like, their costumes were reversed.
Oh.
So, I mean, she was a nurse dressed up as a nurse, but she said she was a doctor.
Well, I think this is another one of examples where, you know,
it was the dumbest kill.
It was a dumb kill. They should have made her at least fight harder. And I saw on the Halloween 45 thing, the convention this weekend, she's out there signing autographs. in real life, the actress is out there, but
oh wow,
yeah, for her to trip and fall and him open the door and hit it, and then she shoots and kills herself. I mean, it's just so lame. Yeah, and also it was lame that she opened up. I mean, she fired all of her shots. You know, I guess except for one. Earlier in the car.
Lame. It was very lame. And then Lindsay comes with like a pillowcase full of bricks or something and starts swinging on him. And then he almost kills her, but she ends up hiding and getting away, which I like that. I think Lindsay's character is likable.
But they never showed. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I thought she was gonna have a bigger role in Halloween Ends when she hardly has any screen time in that movie, which I just don't get that. But because she survives Michael Myers
in that one.
Well, she survives Michael Myers yet again, though. So
she had more screen time than Michael Myers. So we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. I wrote about this movie. I think this movie is the funnest movie out of the three. Like I didn't get bored. I was having fun because it's just a Michael Myers. It has a lot of Michael Myers in it, and it's good. And he does a lot of killing, and it's just fun. It's a fun movie, in my opinion. He does end up going back because Big John and Little John live at his house. So he goes back, and I don't know what Big John was thinking, grabbing that little hors d'oeuvre knife. I mean, come on, Big John.
Come on.
Get a freaking knife, dude. Little John at least had a big knife. Big John had this little hors d'oeuvre knife.
So it was like reversed kind of thing.
I would have liked. I mean, I like the characters in this movie. I wish they would have put up a better fight, or gave them something different than other than a little hors d'oeuvre knife and then a big knife.
They both went out. They both went out like I don't even know if Little John even fought him. He just stood there and said, "Michael Myers, you're home." Like, why would you say that? Freaking trying to stab the guy.
Yeah, you know? I don't like the way they killed them off. I just wasn't a big fan of that.
Nah, me neither. I thought, man, these guys could have done something.
Now that was one of the most brutal kills in there when he took those two thumbs and went in his eyes and gouged his eyes out.
Big John.
Gosh, I mean that was brutal. That was and then you saw him kind of pop out to the side. Yeah. That was rough.
I'm always the one to say, why don't you do that to the villain? But then you see the villain do that to somebody else. So but there in every movie there's like one scene that stands out for me. So in the first one I didn't say it, but I think the coolest one was with the guy that was drunk and he was in the yard and the light kept going off and on and Michael got closer and closer. I thought that was pretty intense. And then in this one I think the whole scene with Lindsay and the kids, you know, all the people from the original, I thought that was probably the best scene in my opinion out of the movie for me anyway.
Yeah, when that one kid in the park says, "Yeah, there's some guy keeps popping out playing what was it playing hide and seek?"
Yeah,
and look, there he is, and you look down there, and he's like looking out the side of a tree. I mean, that was like, man. And she's like, "Nah, we got to get out of here. Y'all need to run. Don't look back. Keep running."
And I like it's the original actress that came back too.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about two more things that I liked about this movie, and then I want to get to the dislikes because I have several. I kind of liked that the town came together at the very end and tricked Michael Myers and put the beat down on him. I did like that. I was like, man, this is cool. People are uniting. I mean, I don't like Evil Dies the Night, but I did like it. And then I thought that was kind of cool. And then I thought it was fitting that Laurie's daughter ends up dying in this at the end. I feel like we needed something big to happen at the end, and I think that was it. You needed to have something for the next movie, and I think her daughter dying was I think it was fitting. Honestly, I really do.
I had problems with that, but I can get to that when we go into that.
Yeah. So anything else you guys want to say about the end of this movie that's not negative? Because we're gonna get into the negative like next. So
I did like how everyone got together and beat him up and stuff. And I thought another one of the brutal killings was Allison's, I guess, ex-boyfriend or whatever.
Oh
The whole
yeah.
stairs thing back and forth and up and down, and then
Yep.
snaps his neck. That was pretty brutal. And that
And
was
he's
in the
walking
original.
down the stairs and looks over there and sees him, and then she's like, "No, no, no!" And then he looks over and is like, snaps
Yep.
his neck. That
I
was
mean,
pretty brutal.
he couldn't even move at that point, really. But
right.
I liked how she stabbed him with the pitchfork. Again,
Yep.
I'm like, why didn't you stab him in the head? And that would have
Right.
been the end too. So yeah, but I did like that.
Mike.
I like the way at the end you just said everything, just about what I said. I like the way the daughter, who didn't look so wimpy, and stabbed him with a pitchfork, took his mask off, and then stood out there and lured him and said, "Come on." And as soon as I remember seeing that for the first time, I was like, she's setting him up. I said, there's something going on here. And I liked how they got them all in the town together. And then they, it's like, 15, 20 guys and girls, but they're sitting around there and they're going to, I can't remember, his mask was knocked off or something. He, right before they got ready to start tacking him, he reaches down there and puts his mask on. Michael Myers is like, all right, let's go, guys. I love that. I mean, I kind of got coaches. I was like, man, this is going to be something. I might better say my dislikes here for a second.
Yeah. We're gonna get to those. Are you guys ready to get to the dislikes? I got a couple that I want to talk about.
Yep.
Well, I did like how she said "gotcha" again, because she did that once in each movie. So go ahead.
So I think one of the biggest glaring things about this movie is one of the worst things about this movie is the hospital mob. This is horrible. This is absolutely ridiculous. These people run and you know what? Tommy Doyle was leading the charge. He's a freaking idiot, in my opinion. I didn't really like it. I was glad that he got killed. I didn't like Tommy Doyle. I thought I was gonna like Tommy Doyle because he seemed like, oh man, this guy's gonna lead some people, and then he just kind of was an idiot, in my opinion. So was Lonnie. Lonnie was dumb, and the hospital mob, the whole scene was stupid. They thought this guy was Michael Myers, a guy that weighed 280 pounds. This guy's Michael Myers? I don't think so. Come on. The guy's 5'8" and like 300 pounds. This isn't Michael Myers.
They were so set on blaming somebody that they turned into the monsters themselves.
That's right.
So, it's like, oh, there's Michael Myers. Let's go after that person. They were so blind by it.
Yeah. And then, like, why the Evil Dies Tonight thing is so dumb. It's said about, 250 times in this movie? Seriously. I mean, it's said so many times. It's dumb. It's overused. Do you guys both agree with me on that?
Yes.
I agree.
I wish they just didn't even do that.
And then let's talk about another thing, is the ending. The kind of ending where Michael Myers is getting beat up by these people, and then all of a sudden Laurie starts talking and says, oh, we found out that he's not just a man. He's this, and he's pure darkness, and he's pure evil, and he thrives off death, and he gets power from it, blah, blah. It's like, wait a minute. We are introducing this at the end of the second movie? We should have known this in the first movie. This is stupid. And then all of a sudden he gets up after getting the crap beat out of him and starts murdering people and like hulking up, brother, and just killing a bunch of people. And it's like, no, this is absolutely ridiculous, this part of the movie. I couldn't get with it. And it's something that we should have known in the last movie, in my opinion. Like, start with that in the movie. Don't end with that in the second movie. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I think it was a dramatic effect when she was talking about it, and then when she was done, that's when he got up and proved everything that she just said.
Yeah, Well, this is my whole problem with the end of this movie. And again, I'm not a director, I'm not a producer. I'm just a fan. I loved how the whole town just beat the shit out of him.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
like
I
that.
did too.
I thought they should have never shown him coming back and kicking everybody's ass and killing everybody.
Nope, me neither.
They should have cut that when the daughter, in my opinion, and you liked her getting killed, I didn't. When the
Mm-mm.
daughter was looking out the window, the same window that he killed his sister in, when she's looking out that window. To me, it would have been better if all of a sudden she saw him across the street or something in like a shadow type thing, and it end then. And then she could have got killed in the third one, possibly the last one. But for him to all of a sudden kill everybody, whip their tails, and then comes back, sneaks in the house, gets up the stairs.
Right.
Now it was cool how in the mirror you could see the reflection of him back when he was getting ready to kill her.
Right.
But I just didn't think it had to. I didn't think it had to end that way. I just wasn't a big fan of it. I thought seeing him, not knowing if he was really alive or not, and thought they had killed him, would have set up a better one for the third one. And just maybe her thinking she saw him across the street, and was he alive or not? It would have been better.
Right.
I don't think it was realistic, though. How did he get from? Well, first of all, what even possessed her to go up the stairs to begin? What was she looking for?
I don't know.
Up the window, but then he comes across the street while everything's going on and checking Alice and everything, and he comes back across the street, gets up the stairs that fast, and then it literally shows her, and he comes out from like directly behind her, like it's a direct silhouette. How it's like he came out of nowhere. It's like that. It's like he was supernatural at that point, and it just didn't. I didn't like it really.
Yeah,
I'm with Mike with that.
Yeah, I mean, either with Michael Myers, you got to pick: is he supernatural or is he not? And they could not pick in this movie. In the first half of this series, he wasn't. In the second half, he is. And I call bullshit. I don't like that at all. I mean, at least with Jason, he's supernatural in the later series. In the beginning, he's human, and then he turns supernatural because he's dead. Okay. But in this series, it was like, okay, now he has powers somehow. And then Halloween Ends, it gets stupid ridiculous with these dumb powers. So let's give the rating on this one, guys. Gregory, what's your rating?
Taking into account it's the same night, it's a sequel with everything that happened, everything I didn't like, I would probably say a 7.
A 7? Wow, man. That's pretty high, I think.
Well, mine was a 9 on the last one, but I'm getting lower. So I mean, it had its good, it had its bad. It had a lot of legacy characters, and I loved that. So I can't mark it down too much.
I get that. Mike, what about you, my friend?
Oh, I can't hear you.
Oops, sorry. I'd cut it off when I coughed a while ago. I give this one a 5.
5. Okay,
5 being average. 5 being average. I've said that before. So if it would have took out the whole evil dies tonight,
Derek gave it
that 4. Character and the whole him jumping off and dying, I probably would have moved it up to a 6, a 6.5. Maybe even liked it better than the first one.
Right.
But that whole character and the evil dies tonight is just horrible.
That was like 15 minutes of the film. That was like
it was horrible.
Part.
Yeah, pull it down to about an hour and 20 minutes. It would have been.
So my rating on this one is so Mike, you're kind of in between the critics and the audience. I'm gonna give this a 6 because I think some of the parts I really like, and this actually might be my favorite out of the 3. Honestly, I might actually, if you told me to rewatch one of these, I think it might be Kills, but I'm not sure. I couldn't be 100% on that. But I think there's some stuff I really like, and then there's some stuff that's just stupid, and I hate it. But yeah, so let's get to Halloween Ends, shall we?
Snap.
So Halloween Ends came out in 2022, and one of us, I don't know if Gregory did, but one of me and Mike actually had to pay money to see this.
I went
Right,
and
Mike?
saw it at the movie theater, even though it was coming out on
bought it.
Peacock.
I saw it in the theater.
So this surprises me, the Rotten Tomato score, Mike. It's the critics like this a little bit better than Halloween Ends. They give it a 40.
You mean Halloween
Fans,
Kills?
then Kills. The fans don't like this one better, and they give it a 57%. So, Mike, me and Mike watched this movie when we were talking, and I want to start off by saying this: we do not see Michael Myers in this movie until the 40-minute and 42-second mark. Bullshit. I mean, that is stupid.
Well,
Dumb.
yeah, and I'll tell something. When I watched this movie, I did a stopwatch on it, and I did a timer for every second that Michael Myers was on the screen himself, not Corey. And I'll tell you at the end of this how many minutes it was, and you may be shocked at how long Michael Myers is in this movie out of a 2-hour movie. I think it was wasn't it like an hour and 57 minutes, or right at 2? You got the DVD there, Greg. What does it say the length of this movie was? Right at 2 hours, right?
Oh, it's like really fine print. I can Google it really quick.
It's no big deal. I think it was right at 2 hours.
Well,
But
Mike,
the beginning of this movie I didn't think was bad. The part where it went all the way from the beginning to 41 minutes into the movie before you see Michael Myers on a movie called Halloween Ends. And it was the first time my wife had watched it. And my wife's like, what's this movie about? What the hell? I mean, what's going on here? She was blown away when it was 41 minutes and you finally see Michael Myers into the movie. Out of a 2-hour movie.
Yeah,
she's
this
like,
movie's
what's
horrible.
going on? The kid at the beginning and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. We can go into different.
Yeah, we're going to go into more detail, but I also want to say this. Michael Myers does not kill anyone until 1 hour into the movie. Half of the movie is over, and we finally get our first kill from Michael Myers. So
he only killed 2 people in the whole movie, right?
He killed a woman, and I don't know who else does he kill.
The cop in the sewer.
Oh,
who was the woman he killed?
The dentalist. The dentalist.
Yeah. So that's 2, and then Corey eventually. That's 3.
Okay,
possibly Corey.
Listen. So let's start this movie by saying
3 people.
So Corey. So we start this movie out, and it's a couple years. It takes place in 2019. So a year after the event on Halloween. So a year after the events of Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. It's a year after that. So we meet this guy named Corey, big nerd. I mean, this guy is a nerd. And he's going to babysit a kid who is a real dickhead, in my opinion. This kid's a jerk. I would have locked him in his room. But Corey's trying to be cool to this kid. Corey's trying to be cool to this kid. He's letting him watch a way better movie. John Carpenter's The Thing. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that makes this movie a whole bunch better just by seeing that in this movie.
That's a callback to the original.
And it's John Carpenter.
Right. I love John Carpenter's The Thing. That movie's phenomenal. And it shouldn't have been in this movie because, it makes this movie better just a little bit just because of that. I did think this was a decent opening. When I first saw this movie, it shocked me when Corey kicked that door. It hit this jerk. The jerk fell and basically flipped backwards, like his whole bed, like he got snapped in half. And the parents watched it all happen because they were coming home. And they heard Corey say, "I'm going to kill you, you little jerk." And then Corey's got a knife because he was scared that Michael Myers was there going to kill him. But I did like that. I thought that was cool. Now, did I want to spend the whole movie with Corey? No, because
Well, who left the knife at
became,
the stairwell? Is that the kid did that?
no, he grabbed it because he was afraid that Michael Myers was there.
Yeah, but it was already sitting sitting on the steps and the door was open. So did the kid open the door and set the knife there just messing with him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because he knew that Corey was afraid of Mike. Because the kid said, "Oh, Michael Myers
He only
kills
kills
kids. He only
babysitters."
kills babysitters."
Yeah.
So like I said, this kid was an asshole. He didn't deserve to die, but he was a freaking jerk, no doubt about that.
So real quick, Josh, just some real quick comments.
Yeah.
Derek says in this one they made Michael seem less supernatural. Meg says I really loved this movie. Stephen Lisa says I have not seen it yet, but I will. And Derek says I actually like this one the best of the three trilogies.
These guys are not. These people are not Halloween fans. I can already tell you that. Right, Mike? Honestly, they're not Halloween fans.
I'm not going to give my rating on it here. I'm getting ready to lay this one out here in a little bit.
So sorry. No offense to Derek or Meg. Like
no.
Everyone has their opinion.
It's all opinions, right? That's what movies are and food reviews are.
But I can honestly say that if you like this movie, you're not a Michael Myers, you're a Halloween fan. Like you like them maybe casually, but you're not a fan of the series, in my opinion.
I don't know that you can say that, Josh. I don't know.
I can. I just said it. I just said
you said it, but I don't think that's a fair assessment. Some people, just.
So listen, I for some reason Allison, which I really liked in the last two movies, she kind of annoyed me in this movie because for whatever reason she was instantly attracted to Corey, like this guy, like seriously, and I don't know. She was like, she saw him like at the hospital or at the doctor's office or wherever, and she was like instantly attracted to him. And I don't know if that's because of, I don't know what it was. But Corey also, he's kind of dealing with things still because like it's a couple years later and he's still dealing. People in the town think he's a killer. They think he's Michael Myers. They think that all this kind of stuff. He's dealing with a lot of issues. His home life stinks. His mother's a nut job. And his you know what? His stepdad seems pretty cool in my opinion. He employs Corey at the junkyard that he owns or whatever, but his mom's a nut job. But so for whatever reason, Allison's really like this guy. Lori intervenes. Oh, Lori, I forgot to say this. Lori at the beginning kind of is like, hey, Michael Myers has disappeared for a bunch of years. I chose not to live my life like I used to. I'm going to make pies. I'm living in the city. Wait, what? You would seriously, after all everything that happened, you're just going to switch and live a different life?
She's right. She's writing a book. She's trying to let it go.
I know, Mike, but
she chose to not live in fear anymore, I think is what happened. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I think she just got tired of how she was living and she wanted some kind of normalcy.
I know, but man, like you go from one extreme to like another, like you're going to like live Susie Homemaker lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Look at
she didn't do too good on the pumpkin pie.
I said also here, Corey, you better not mess this up with Allison because you've way overshot your shot, dude. Like that's what I said because she's nice looking. But yeah, I mean, Corey works at this place. He ends up like going to town, and Mike, what happens next when he goes to this gas station? Like
this right here really bothered me. I mean, this is nothing against people that are in the band in high school, but these are 4 high school band people. And he's 21 years old. He said he's 21 years old. So they're probably 18 or 17.
Maybe 16. Who knows?
Yeah. And they come in here and they're bullying him to try to buy beer for him. And I mean, why not go back to the old days and just had some high school jocks instead of band members? I mean, some supposedly tough guys and have them.
Like in the old movies, you would have had like the guys with the Letterman like jackets on that played
Yeah, I
football.
mean, yeah,
Not a
just
Letterman
go old
not a
school
Letterman
with
jacket
it.
that was in the band.
Not have the band people. But then they try to get him go in, and I get Corey. Corey's trying to do right. He don't want to get in trouble. And then they get him for having chocolate milk in his hand. He cuts his hand, and then Laurie Strode shows up. She's kind of watching it.
Yeah.
She comes over there, and they make the comment about, are you the psycho or the whatever it was?
The freak.
And she helps him out, but he gets bullied by some band nerds. Meg says, I'm still a nerd.
Well,
Meg, you got a shot to be in a Michael Myers movie if you're still a band nerd.
If he did what he wanted to, he would have gotten in trouble because they're underage. So he had to control himself at that point. But he was slowly transitioning to his inner evil, and that was going on throughout the whole movie, in my opinion.
So well, I mean, pretty soon he's like having a relationship with Allison and stuff, and then he's walking home one night, and these band people pick on him yet again, and they flip him over a freaking bridge. Like, what? And then he, for whatever reason, Michael Myers drags him. This is 40 minutes into the movie, people. Michael Myers grabs him, drags him. Nothing really else happened worth merit, in my opinion. Just Laurie talking with Hawkins.
They're hitting on each other, and they're building their relationship. They're layering their relationship.
Yep. And so nothing really happens worth merit. They just kind of building Corey. He hasn't done anything too nuts yet or anything. But he does get dragged in the sewer by Michael Myers, who has been living there for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years.
At 40 minutes and 46 seconds is when you first see him.
Yes. And Corey's in there. Michael Myers grabs him by the throat, and they like look at each other. Okay. Oh my gosh. They look at each other in each other's eyes.
And he was transferring.
Oh my, Gregory.
Though that's what it looked like because the screen was like shaking.
It's true. It's true. That's what they're trying to convey here, that Michael Myers is somehow he sees the evil in Corey, that Corey's buried. He sees the evil in him, and somehow he's transferring it, or he's bringing it to the forefront of Corey's mind and his personality.
Yeah.
And
it's very psychological.
Dumb. It's stupid. And so then Corey goes outside, kills a homeless guy, right?
That was attacking him.
Right. He kills a homeless guy, and then he's like,
the homeless guy deserved it. He was attacking him.
Yeah, he was. He killed him. And
he was asking for the mask.
Right. And then Corey has, well, then what happens after that? I'm having a brain thing. What happens after that part?
Don't they ride on a motorcycle after that?
It reminded me of the scene in the Titanic where the two are at the front of the ship. So this one, they're on a motorcycle together, right?
Yeah.
Like and you then, just killed somebody. Oh, we're on a motorcycle now.
they end up running into Allison's old boyfriend, which I'm like, wait, Allison dated this guy too?
He looked like he's 20 years older than her.
Yeah, he looked like a cop who was 45 years old, and he acted like it was 1960s. Like, hey, honey. Like,
I thought he just liked her. I thought he just was into her. I didn't think they were dating.
No, later on, Laurie and the other lady said that you're not dating him anymore or something. So they dated in the past.
Yeah, no, he looked 45, and so him and Corey get into it, and Corey gets in his face. At this point, Corey, you tell his whole demeanor has changed. Yeah. He's not going to be taking shit from people now. No, so he goes, and basically he sees that he's a cop. He's following him, and he goes, takes this guy, leads him to the tunnel where Michael Myers lives. The guy's in there looking, and he sees Corey, and he's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, Michael Myers comes out, attacks this guy, and kills him, right? Is that right how it goes?
Yep, and gets power from that because he feeds off of it. That's why he started to get stronger.
I still don't understand how this movie went from Corey kicking a door and knocking a boy over the damn stairs and not even being his own fault. It was the kid's fault. So all of a sudden, Corey's this new Michael Myers that's going to be out. I just
because everybody was
they kept picking on him and making fun of him. The whole town did for the last 3 years.
And he snaps at some point, and he wants to be like Michael.
Right, but does that make him a psycho? Like,
I'm just glad he didn't say evil dies tonight.
Right. No. We did not hear that. We did not hear that in this movie. I don't think. Maybe at the end we did. I don't remember, but
I think it was more psychological. I know they were trying something new, and you don't normally do that on a final act movie part, like the final part of a series or trilogy.
Yep.
And they were trying something new, and it was psychological. So yes, it built up, and he got like they broke his glasses, so all of a sudden he was able to see without glasses. Like maybe he had contacts in, I don't know, but he got like more crazier and evil, and even Laurie saw in his eyes that look, and his eyes were dark, and she knows that look. So that's why her alarm was up as well.
Right. Right. One of the cool shots in this movie was Allison and Corey were like gonna go bang or something in Laurie's house, and it showed a shot of Laurie standing out by her car looking at them, and while Laurie was standing by her car, Michael Myers was by a tree looking at her, and it was a really cool shot how they did that. I thought that was really cool. I enjoyed that shot. Did you guys remember that part?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how he found her, though, unless he's looking through the eyes of Corey. And
please don't say that. Please don't say that.
Well, I just don't know how he found her. I can't think of any other way.
Oh, no.
Just an FYI, it was 41 minutes before you first saw Michael. The second time you saw him was 1 hour and 6 minutes into the movie.
Wow.
So it was 20 more minutes went by from the time you saw him for 15 seconds when he grabbed Corey in the tunnel till you see him again whenever he ends up killing the cop.
Right. So Corey and Allison go to a party, and Corey has a really ridiculous mask on. A scarecrow mask looks like it's from like 1950 or something. It just looks cheesy. It's dumb. It's not scary. It's not intimidating. It's not like Michael Myers masks. You know, it's just kind of like has like one of those cheap strings on it. Like, wait a minute. And so he's there partying, and then the mother of the child that he killed like totally goes off on him and blah, blah, blah. Then he, for whatever reason, him and Michael Myers like start killing together. He goes there and he's like basically like, teach me. Like it reminded me of like a Sith, like in Star Wars, a master and an apprentice. No, seriously, that's what it reminded me of. Like, show me the way, dude. You know, like you are my master. Way. That's what it reminded me of. And so they go on this. They go killing together. They go kill this doctor, which I think is pretty cool because like she walks out to go find this doctor. And then in the back, it's like black. There's no light, and you do kind of see faintly like an arm or something stabbing somebody, which I really like. And then the lights turn on, and then Corey is just going ham on this doctor with a corkscrew, like in the neck with a bag over his head. And she runs inside, and Corey's like looking, and all of a sudden Michael Myers bum rushes her, lifts her up, stabs her just like a kill from the first movie.
Call back.
Yep. And Corey's at the window, like with his hurt hand. And it's like he's like getting power from Michael Myers killing. Is that true?
I don't know if he was getting power, but yeah, it was, I don't know. It was like symbolic, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's just horrible. Like, why
They had
would
a
you?
connection.
No, but why? Like, why didn't we learn anything about Corey in 2018? Why didn't we learn anything about Corey in 2000 in Halloween Kills? Like, why didn't we learn
Well,
anything about this guy?
let's hear let's hear Gregory's take on things up to this point. Josh, you gave us your opinion. Let's hear Gregory's opinion.
Well, I've said some things, and I know Josh to agree with it already. So, but I don't know. I take the whole movie into account, and I think they went a different route. They kind of, if you remember the beginning, okay, the script wording of the title was the same as Halloween 3. So that Halloween 3 was different. It didn't have Michael Myers. So they tried something different. They're trying something different in this one. This one doesn't have Michael Myers at the beginning until later. So that kind of mimics the third one in a way. And it's psychological, where you're seeing someone else become the monster. It's not just Michael, but you saw the mob becoming monsters. It wasn't just Michael, but that was what Michael wanted, was to spread the evil. So in this one, it's another person, and he's trying to become Michael, but in the end, Michael's like, no, you're not going to replace me. And that's the third person Michael killed, was Corey, because he did kill 3 people in that movie. So you had 2 movies with Michael. The third movie, it's the final showdown, but people, I think, expected for them to fight through the whole movie. Could you imagine how boring that would be? It would get old after a while. So they have the final fight at the end was cool, I thought.
Yeah, that would be so horrible. Unlike Corey going into there, beating up Michael Myers and stealing his mask. Yeah, that was really good, Gregory.
Well, I
had a major problem with that. I mean, Michael Myers is your face of your franchise. This is my beef with that. Michael Myers is the face of your franchise. I know he's 65 years old now, whatever it is. But for 3 years, he's been dragging. The homeless guy said, you're the first one that's went in there and came back out. So for 3 years or 2 years or whatever, Michael's been pulling people in there, killing them and eating them or whatever he does with them. And then all of a sudden, Corey goes in there. And if you go back and watch that scene again, I watched it twice. All he does is push Michael around. He's not like pounding him or hitting him with something or anything. He just shoves him down like an old man and takes his mask off of him.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And this is supposed to be your end.
Yep.
And to me, it's supposed to be your great end. Now, we're getting ready to come into, I don't want to know if I'm going to spoilers here right now at this point, but to me, this movie, if Corey was going to be your future of the franchise and take over the knife from Michael Myers,
that's right.
They had this played perfectly, and they just blocked their own punt at the goal line. Because when it came back where Michael Myers ends up killing him, and I love the scene where Laurie there, I mean, he stabs himself in the neck, and you're like, man, he set her up like she's the one that killed him.
Yeah.
Now, if Blumhouse still had something going on with this and they could make it Corey's the killer down the road, that'd be one thing. But they had that excellent opportunity to do that, and they didn't do it. And now I'm going to tell you how long Michael Myers was in this movie. Michael Myers, for a 2-hour movie, was in this for 13 minutes and 48 seconds.
That is a damn shame.
And 5 minutes of that was him on top of a car going through town and them cheering it on and then them throwing him in the thing at the very end. I mean, they could have had a huge fight.
Yeah.
In my opinion, which they did. I kind of like the fight. I do think it was really weak when she grabbed him by the throat and then they ended up cutting his hand. I thought that was pretty weak.
Why parade him around town too?
What would have been greater was if they're on the compactor and one last ounce of energy from Michael Myers, he grabs Laurie's leg and they both go down at the same time. And then it's ended.
I kind of mentioned that to Derek. What if he got up and tried to pull her, like she could still survive, or go the route that you said.
Just if you're going to end it.
Yeah.
I think, listen, for me, it would have been better. I might not have liked it, but it would have at least been better if they would have built Corey up. He's the one that ends up killing Michael Myers, takes his mask, and he is the new Michael Myers. And he survives, and he's the killer. That would have been better in my eyes.
Meg's giving her opinion here. She says this movie had a plot. I don't think it did. It did until Corey got killed. Right. Then the whole plot of the whole movie was wasted for no reason.
Why? Yeah, why spend 40 minutes with this guy, building him up, making him the new Michael Myers, and then killing him? It's dumb. It's stupid.
Corey killed more people than Michael Myers.
Yes.
But the thing that I don't like also is that when Corey is in the Michael Myers outfit, it's, what was his name? Courtney Jude Law is the actor, I think is his name. It's him in the costume doing all that, because that's his look. That's how he walked playing the part of Michael. I don't think the actor that was playing Corey was in the costume when he was doing it. I'm like, that's still the other actor doing it, but it's supposed to be Corey. But I do think they could have went a different route with this. I do agree with what they did. Yes and no, but yes, they should have had more Michael in it, especially being the last of it. He could have been going after Laurie more throughout the movie. It could have been a lot different. Loose ends could have been tied up differently. Yep. Corey could have been part of it, but not the whole central, plot of the movie.
Right. Like I said, I mean, I didn't mind Michael and Corey killing together. That's not my problem. And it's not my problem that, like Mike said, once you killed Corey off, an hour of the movie was a waste of time. A total waste of time. More than an hour. A waste of time. Listen, I want to tell you one thing I did love about this movie. I think it has one of the most brutal kills I've ever seen in a movie. And it's where Corey sticks a freaking blowtorch in a guy's mouth.
Derek
band kid's mouth. That was awesome. I love that.
Derek saw that.
Laurie versus Michael was good. I thought that final battle was okay. I didn't like that they tied Michael to the top of a car, paraded him around like he's a Thanksgiving float. I think that was stupid. And
that reminded me of Christmas Vacation with the tree on top for the grandmother.
Yeah, it was dumb. So I said the grinder part was cool. I mean, grind him up, cool. He's dead now. But who's gonna take his place? Corey's dead. Like it
listen, if the cop can survive being ran over and stabbed in the neck, surely Corey can survive stabbing himself in the neck and Michael breaking his neck.
He'll be in the next one. If Blumhouse wins that the dispute thing, Mike, he'll be talking and walking around in the next one. I'll guarantee it.
The mask was there at the end. Like, I liked how they did each room of Laurie's house like they did in the original movie, but then they just show the mask, and it's kind of like that's like the final, like that's
so maybe that's
what's left.
Maybe that's what they're trying to say now, is that the evil's in the mask.
Maybe.
I mean, they could step that up that way and go with that direction. I'd heard some other things saying that Allison's really pregnant with Corey's baby, and then it's the lineage is still going to go on. And
okay, so we got to wait 18 to 20 years before like someone starts killing again, huh?
No, when he's 6 years old, he's going to do it. They're going to jump 6 years down.
Yeah. Here's some other problems that I had that are minor. Like, why did they give us a recap at the beginning of this movie like it's 1983, Mike? Like, why did they do that? Because, like, this was infamous. Like, they did this in horror movies back in the day a ton. They'd give you a recap of the previous movie. But, like, why was it necessary in this one? But they didn't do it for 2018 when that was actually a direct sequel from the original. They should have given you a little recap at the beginning of that one if they were going to do it. Like, what was the point?
I did like the montage at the end when they were fighting and then he was dying, and it showed like the montage of the first one into the new trilogy. You know, they show like the closet scene from the first one, hit them fighting and stuff. I
Yeah.
liked all that. And I liked how she tried to use the knitting needle again on him, and he stuck it in her ear part way.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yes, that was.
And there was a part.
Go ahead, Gregory. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. There was a part that kind of went with Halloween H2O. If you noticed, he was trying to stick her hand into the garbage disposal.
That was cool.
And in H2O, that guy went to grab the corkscrew from the garbage disposal. And I remember in an interview that Jamie Lee Curtis said that they were thinking of actually having that character's hand get ground up in the garbage disposal. So I don't know if they thought of that and used that in this one, but it kind of like connected it in my mind anyway.
So I have here that I just didn't find Corey that interesting. Like, I really didn't think he was that interesting, in my opinion. It's what I think. And then, like, also the thing I was wondering about was like, wait a minute, Corey cut his hand real bad, but like as he was killing, I felt like they were trying to say that his wounds were healing as he was killing. Did you guys think that they were trying to say that?
No, I didn't get that.
Because he like unwrapped it and he was like, I'm fine now. Didn't you see that part?
I didn't notice it.
Yeah, I did notice he was in the bathroom. He did that like it was no big deal, and he unwound his the wrap.
I will say if you you probably won't buy it, but if you bought the Blu-ray, there are deleted scenes in it, and there is one deleted scene that is very like disturbing and detailed, is when he killed his own mother. They showed a lot more in the deleted scene than what you see in the actual movie. It was pretty brutal. And I was just like,
oh, really?
wow.
Okay, yeah.
It was
that was actually a quick kill in the movie, and they kind of show her later on.
But in the deleted scene, he was stabbing her, he knocked her into the curio cabinet, and she was fixing that porcelain bunny that had broke, and then that just fell and broke even into more pieces, so it just made it more dramatic. But I was just like, wow, they deleted this. If they had a version where they just put all the scenes in it, it would have made it a lot more fuller, I think.
Okay, so is there anything else you guys want to say about Halloween Ends before we give our rating on
it? It's ended. The Laurie Strode story is done.
Thank God. I
don't think she'll be coming back in another 20 or 4 years. I mean, she'll be coming out in a walker or something. Yeah. They'll have to hit each other with canes or something. I don't know. But
after watching this trilogy, I really wish they would have stopped at 2018. I seriously do. I wish they would have. I wish they would have never made kills, and I wish they never would have made ends.
Or take 2018 and take the very end of Ends and kind of combine it all together. Like say 2018, have the fire and all that, and then like epilogue or whatever, and say like so many years later, and then he comes to her house and all that. That might have worked as well, and kind of skip some of the other stuff.
Okay, Mike, you have anything else to say about this movie?
No, it can't end enough, man. Soon enough,
right? And, yeah, it's horrible. So Gregory, it seems like you kind of were like deep diving on this movie, trying to figure out every good point and make things that were bad good. So let's hear your rating.
Let's say number one, Gregory is a very positive person.
Yes, he is.
I appreciate that out of you, Gregory.
I do too. I do too.
I try to look for Easter eggs and look at what the director was trying to convey and stuff, even if it's like just ridiculous. But
we should bring the director's name up after this.
Or David Gordon Green.
Oh, you got Megs with a 9 out of 10 on this one, and Mozone's 7.5.
He might be the only person in history to give it a 9. I don't know.
Well, Michael, is his name Michael from We Watched a Movie? He actually said he liked Halloween Ends.
Yeah, I know. He gave it a 7.5, and he lost all credibility with me.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, Gregory,
never watching that guy again.
Gregory, what do you give it, buddy?
So I gave 2018 a 9. I gave Kills a 7. Being that this is the last final fight and everything, and taking everything into account, I'd probably give it a 6.
Okay, fair enough. Mike.
Uno,
5.
dos, tres.
So 7.
A 3.
I give it a 3.
Yeah.
Derek gave it a 7.5. He just said.
Okay. I absolutely hated this movie.
Will you ever watch it again, Mike?
I will never, ever, ever watch that movie again.
Nope, I'm with you. I'll never watch that movie. I'll watch 2018, and I'd watch Halloween Kills again. I will not watch this piece of shit ever again. I'm giving it a 1.
Oh, wow.
Because it has so many issues. It tries to do so much, and it has.
Josh, is that the lowest score you've get in over a year? We've been doing this.
Yep.
That is the lowest score you've ever gave a movie, I believe.
Yep. It gets a 1.
A 3 was my lowest I've ever gave a movie.
Right. It's. I mean, it literally is. I mean, for everything that it could have been, it was nothing that it could have been, and it just sucks. And I'll never stop beating that drum, Mike, ever. And I'm with you. I will never watch this movie ever again. So.
All right. So we did say we would go back and give the whole trilogy a cumulative score.
Yep. Out of 10.
So I think we probably need to leave Gregory be last because he'll be the most positive person. We want to end on a positive note.
Mike,
so I'm gonna go ahead and give my overall. So let's just say this right here. So I forgot to write. I've been writing down everybody's scores, by the way. So Gregory, what'd you give this one?
A 6.
Okay, on the kills, what did you give it, Josh?
On Kills, I gave Kills a 6.
And Gregory, what'd you give it, a 7?
Kills, I gave it a 7.
Okay.
And in 2018, I gave it a 9.
Okay, yeah. So far, just a heads up before we start giving an overall score, Gregory gave a 9, 7, and 6.
Yep.
I gave a 6, 5, 3. And Josh, you gave a 6.5, 6, and a 1.
Yep.
So my overall score is going to be a 4 for the whole 4.5 for the whole series. 4.5.
Okay. So what did you base that on?
Well, I didn't go and average it, but I just figured to me 5 is average. The overall trilogy is below average in my opinion.
Yeah.
You got a 6 and I gave a 6 and a 5 for the first 2 movies and a 3 for the last. If you did do an average on that, that would be 14 divided by 3. So that's going to be 4 something. So that's why I said 4.5.
Yeah. Gregory, what do you want me to go first, Gregory, or do you want to go next?
Leave Gregory for last. Gregory's going to have at least positive.
So, yeah. So, like I said, I will watch 2018 again. I can see myself watching Halloween Kills again. Maybe not the whole movie. I'd probably fast forward a bunch of kills. So for that reason, you gave a 4.5, Mike, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 3.5.
So Derek said a 6. Is that your overall? Okay. So his is close to mine because I just basically added mine together, divided by 3, like Mike was saying. So that would come to a 7 as an overall score between all of them. But individually, yes, I still stand my ground as far as what I gave them individually. But as a trilogy, direct from the first one, a 7 seems fair, I think.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. And like I said, I will wave the flag that Halloween Ends is a piece of shit, and I'll wave it till I'm dead. And
let's talk about real quick.
What?
There is, I mean, I know we're going up on 2 hours here, but real quick, maybe some very end conversation here. There is talk, there is news now. This weekend, they actually had the Halloween 45 convention in California, Pasadena.
Yeah. Yep.
And supposedly, Allison was supposed to be there, the character that plays Allison, the real person, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Neither one showed up, is what I'm hearing, and they were supposed to be there. So some of the fans were upset that they didn't show up.
Are they allowed to be with the strike still going on? The actor
the strike's over. The strike is over now.
Strike though.
But even during the strike, like I went to a horror convention, they can be there. They can sign stuff. There's just certain things they can't say. But I was told the strike is over now. So that sounds like Miramax. Which one? The one that owns it?
Miramax.
Yeah. They are shopping around the Halloween franchise out there.
Yeah,
and there's been some other ones, Paramount, A24, even Bloom came back up today, or Blum, what's it called, Blumhouse. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, what do you think?
I don't want Blumhouse to get it again. I do not want their hands on this.
What if they had a chance to come back and redeem themselves from the
and you listen, because a guy that I really like and admire, Danny McBride, was a writer, a co-writer and producer, I think, on all three of these movies. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, no, stay away from these. Stick to comedy, Danny McBride. But like David Gordon Green, I have a lot of concern about the new Exorcist movie because of what he did to this franchise, in my opinion. I have a lot of concern. I think it looks good, okay, by the trailers, but is he gonna start doing a bunch of wacky stuff in this movie? Or like the first movie we're gonna get from The Exorcist, like, is it gonna be good? And then like as they go on, like different stuff happens, and like is it gonna be that way, dude? Because I think you got a lot of people online, which I've seen and heard, are concerned that he was the director of this Exorcist Believer because of what he did to the Halloween trilogy, in my opinion. And I think that's a lot of people's opinions from what I've read.
I don't have too much stake in the Exorcist movies. I've seen the original, and it was okay. So I guess I really don't care too much on what they do with this one. I'll just watch it for what it is. And I like that Ellen Bernstein is back. But I don't have expectations of what they're gonna do or not do. Not unlike Halloween, I was expecting a lot and I got it, but I didn't get it. I would like to see A24 get it if they do the Halloween 3 TV show. I don't want a TV show for Halloween, but if they did Halloween 3 as a TV show, a continuation, that would probably be kind of cool because it was supposed to be an anthology to begin with. I don't want them to do a movie unless they're going to do something completely different, not part of this trilogy. Maybe do the Jamie Lloyd storyline and bring back Danielle Harris. I don't know, but some alternate universe. It will have nothing to do with the Laurie Strode story. So they can do whatever they want in another universe.
I don't think the Jamie Lloyd stuff has a big enough following because that was 4, 5, and 6. And those movies are pretty... 4 is good, but 5 and 6 are crap. So I don't know if those have enough following to do another story on that. And you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know if they have enough to do that. But I definitely don't want to see this turn into an anthology series. We have Trick or Treat for that. Let's get it on the ball with another Trick or Treat or do a Trick or Treat show. Let's get on the ball with this.
They are supposed to do a sequel for that movie.
Right. I just don't want Halloween to turn into an anthology series. I know John Carpenter wanted it to turn into it. That's why it went the way it did, because that's what he wanted. He wanted Michael Myers dead and gone. That's why they killed him off in the second movie. But I don't want to see that. I really want to see A24 get it because, Gregory, you know what other property A24 owns?
I know that they did that thing with the hand, whatever that movie was called.
No. They own...
Oh, Friday the 13th.
Yes.
TV show, yeah.
So think that maybe we could get a crossover at some point.
Maybe, yeah. I heard talk about that.
That would be epic. I mean, I know Freddy vs. Jason didn't age horribly well, but it's still cool that we got two iconic horror people on the screen at the same time. And I think if you put Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees somehow with a decent story enough, you would just be printing money at that point. I mean, people would go see that movie, in my opinion. So, or TV show would do really well. I don't know, but I like A24 better than Blumhouse. I think Blumhouse has had a lot of strikeouts as of late, and so I think A24 would be the better studio, in my opinion. But Mike, what do you think about it?
See, I like to say A24 as well, but I like some of their older movies, the feel to the movies, like like the movie 10 and Pearl. Even though I didn't like Pearl, I liked 10. I thought it was pretty good. Or X. I just, other than that, though, I'm not a fan of A24. Some of the other stuff they've done.
Wait a minute, Hereditary?
Yeah, I don't like Hereditary. It's just not me, man.
I saw that once, and I think I'm good. The acting was
incredible.
Great. The acting was great, but the movie,
there's nothing wrong against the acting. I mean, to me, Pearl, the actress that plays in Pearl, is one of the best acting jobs I've seen. But the movie itself, storyline stuff wasn't good. But I think I kind of like Gregory says. I think something new and fresh without Laurie Strode.
Right.
If you did go with Michael and you go back to the original book, and I think we watched a movie was talking about it, with going back in time, and in one of the original books it was talking about Michael Myers' grandfather, had killed people too, and that this actually is something that happened in the 1700s, and it's kind of been passed down through the generations.
Oh, I didn't know all that. Wow.
The evilness of it. So going back, maybe a different thing, going back to a different time period and showing things all the way up, leading up to the time Michael was born, would be something new and different.
But then you got the problem, Mike. Michael Myers wouldn't be in that show because you're going back in time, and people wouldn't like it. I mean, we've seen it. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, not a bad movie at all, but it didn't have Michael Myers in it, and people hated it, and it bombed. Right. Halloween Ends. Me and you just got done talking about how Michael Myers wasn't in Halloween Ends enough, and we didn't like that. So
that's true.
Why would that?
Maybe I'm talking more of like a TV show versus a movie. Now, movie wise, you got to have Michael in it, but there's a lot of dead time in 45 years for Michael Myers. Right. There's a ton of dead time in there that you can go back and tell other stories. What led up to him being in, in a psychiatric place. Did he break out and get out and kill other people that they're not? There's so many things you can make up to fill time in there.
Or you could just go with, after the 1978, he actually escaped and was never caught, and then you can see what happens after that. You don't have to have him getting caught. That was just in this trilogy. You could have him not get caught and do something totally different with it. You know what I mean?
Alternate timelines or alternate universes.
Yeah, why not?
I just don't want it to get stagnant and old. Sure. I don't want it to repeat itself. And if it does, then maybe just let it lie for a while.
Well, I'm really interested in this Camp Crystal Lake show. I think it, and also HBO Max, I think, is doing Welcome to Derry, which is a It prequel. So I'm interested in that too.
Yep.
So they could do something here. They just it does have to have an original, fresh take, like Mike was saying, in my opinion, and like you're saying, Gregory, it has to be something different, but it still needs to have Michael Myers in it.
I don't know if Bill Skarsgård is coming back as it. I don't know if that's been confirmed. I haven't heard anything. Have you?
I'm pretty sure the show is I thought it was being made. I don't know.
Well, no, it's being made, but they didn't know if he was going to come back, because he could take different forms.
Right.
But he always chooses to take a form of a clown. But I didn't know if that actor was coming back or not, if it was confirmed or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember right now. So, Mike, is there anything else you want to bring up while we are here?
No, I think I appreciate Gregory coming out tonight. We went 2 hours. I think we've covered all three of them pretty well. I mean, you could really dive deep into each one of these, an hour show for each movie, but it's Halloween season, and people, if you're watching this and you make it an hour and 59 minutes into it, you might as well sub to our channel. And yeah, Gregory's got the looks right there for all three of them.
Yes.
Go out and watch the original Halloween after seeing these three.
Yeah. And you will be bored like the first 30 minutes.
Never.
So Gregory, like Mike said, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, we might never have you back on the show after your rating, but
So Meg is asking us, when is the next live, and what have we decided on that, Josh?
Yeah, I got my notebook right
here. Yes,
here.
is it Friday 13th?
Well, I mean, we could do one before that, Mike. I mean, we need to talk about it, but right now
we talked about doing some of the Friday 13th on Friday 13th, right?
So our next live that we have planned to go live is Friday the 13th, and we're going to be covering Friday the 13th parts 1 through 6, but mainly 6 because that's the one we're watching for that week. But we will be talking about the series 1 through 6. Now, we could go live another time about a different topic if me and Mike want to. I don't know if, it depends on our schedules. But at that point, we are going live Friday the 13th. And
we also got a cruise coming up that we got to record some episodes on the cruise.
Right. Do you want me to say our upcoming schedule of movies that we're going to be reviewing, Mike?
Yeah, go ahead and go over them real quick.
Okay, so the 6th of October, we're doing Friday the 13th, Part 5, Roy Burns. On Friday the 13th, we're doing a live show, Friday the 13th, Part 6, but then we're also talking about the other ones leading up to that. And then on the 20th, we're talking about Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2, which I actually think is not that bad. And then on the 27th of October, we are going to be reviewing Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which does not have Michael Myers in it, but it's not a bad movie.
Yeah, I like that one.
So those are what we have coming up. We might change up our channel a little bit after that. I'm not sure what we're going to decide yet, but we are going to be, that's our schedule right now. Me and Mike haven't planned anything else out right now, but I think we're at least going to go live one more time. We might try to fit something else in, Mike, maybe. I don't know if Mike wants to, if we can talk about like a topic or something to talk about live.
Something we talked about today, and maybe we need to have either you and I against each other, or maybe bring in Gregory and somebody else, or maybe have 4 people on, is Friday the 13th franchise face-to-face against Halloween franchise. Which one's better?
Yeah, I'll take Halloween. I'll take Friday the 13th.
I'll take Halloween.
I was gonna say I'll take Halloween.
Yeah, find you somebody that believes Jason is Halloween. I mean, Friday 13th is better than Halloween, and let's go. Let's debate them.
Right. I mean,
instead of cruise wars, we'll say horror wars.
Well, Mike, the Friday the 13th remake was a hell of a lot better than these pieces of crap.
I don't know about all that. When I went back and looked at them face to face, I was researching that a little bit earlier. You better bring your lunch and somebody else's lunch with you, because I got some ammunition.
Why is that?
I ain't gonna spill the beans right now. Just know your facts. I got my facts already. I'm already working on them.
Are you going off Rotten Tomato scores, Mike?
No, not only. I'm talking about box office, everything else as well.
Okay. Hey, did you forget that you have Halloween Resurrection in your catalog, Mike?
Oh,
and
my
Halloween
God.
5 and Halloween 6.
Michael Myers is not a zombie. Let's just put it that way.
Also, are you remembering that Halloween Ends is in your catalog, Mike? Did you forget that?
Have you forgot Jason Goes to Hell? Have you forgot Jason in Outer Space? Have you forgot?
Listen,
Friday the 13th, Part 3?
Jason X is a fun movie. It's a lot more enjoyable than Halloween Ends. It's way more enjoyable than Halloween Ends.
I did like Jason X, actually.
Told you, Mike.
But Jason Goes to Hell.
That's horrible. That's the worst. That's the worst movie out of the series by far, in my opinion.
Is it lower than Halloween Ends?
I think he was in less of the movie as movie time than Michael Myers was in Halloween Ends.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Jason Goes to Hell is a stinker, but Jason X is fun. No doubt about it. It's a fun movie.
It was different, yeah.
Yep.
All right, 2 hours and 5 minutes. Let's call it, guys.
Okay. Hey, man, I had a lot of fun tonight
Appreciate
with you
it,
guys.
Gregory. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thanks,
And,
Jeff,
yeah,
for
we'll get
hanging
out of
with
here.
us. It looks like Meg's the last one to hang with us.
Yep.
Meg and Mo and Derek. Y'all have a good one now.
Wait, Meg's the last one here, and she has the worst comment. Halloween Ends is awesome.
Hey, that's her opinion, and
It
we
is,
appreciate
yeah.
everybody's opinion.
Yes, Joey.
See you guys. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Bye.